Okay, so we've all had arguments before with people that, you know, we thought they were our best friends, and like during that argument they became our enemies because they're taking an opposing view. And after whichever one of us wins the argument, you know, it's like a battle. That's what makes them our enemy. If I feel like I won the argument afterward, I feel like I can kind of forgive them. You know, I feel kind of better. I'm up high, and they're like, you know, they're still my friend, but I feel like I can forgive them afterwards. And Miller said this pretty easily. It's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with them. And I believe that's just basically based on your pride. So first example of that would be when you get in an argument over something like a political issue or like abortion, let's say, and you defend it and you get all the proof and all that, and you feel like you've completely torn down the other person's argument. And after a while, they just, you know, they either give up or in a sense you've won. Then you can be like, you know what, I forgive you, it's okay, we're still friends, but, you know, I was right. And that kind of boosts your pride up even higher. And also, in another sense, if they were to beat you, like if you're in an argument with them and they beat you in the argument, then they, you know, you can kind of see it. They become to you like as if they're looking down to you and they're helping you up. And it's kind of like, it's kind of degrading, but at the same time, that means like, you know, they feel like they won and they've beaten you, and they feel like they're still your friend. And this applies to a lot of stuff in life. And yeah, so it's far easier to forgive an enemy after you've gotten even with them, because it's just basically based on like your pride, and that's all.
You feel a lot better when you get even.
Yeah.
Do you want to look over this?
Joking.
Nathan, the start seemed to be pretty effective. It sounded like you were going to go someplace with it. You identify what the topic is and the point that you're trying to make, but you never really develop a structure that's going to get you through the presentation. And so about halfway through your speech, I think you recognize that you don't really have a destination, and at the end, that's what happens is you come back, and at least you did get back to the topic, which I thought was a good idea, but you don't sound particularly convinced that you've done made the point that you wanted to make effectively like you could have. Some of the supporting points, I think there's good potential content there, but it doesn't get developed very well. The presentation, most of the things are okay. You project pretty well. There's good variety in your voice. At the first part of the speech, it seemed like you were fluent. Once you got ran out of ideas. You did seem a lot more hesitant and uncertain. Your facial expressions are natural. Your eye contact with the audience is pretty good. I thought your posture was fine. Like I said, it's a little bit underdeveloped. No obvious anxiety issues except right at the end, because you seem like you were uncertain about where to go in the conclusion, and so that undermines the image of the speech, I think, at the end, and undoes a little bit of what the presentation is built up. So the content not as strong as it could be. The presentation part pretty solid, but it's undermined a little bit by that content at the end, where you feel like, eh.
I don't know how to say that.
Well, as I said, you always want to get a structure first. That'll help you. Oh. We're all giving you support. That's what we're here for.
The last one.